this week, we have a lot going on, okay, and we hardly ever see each other. So I don't see you again until Thursday.
Wait, what?
I know. And then I don't see you again until Monday. So we're very, very spread out. Tomorrow, we have math week. Show up. If you signed up, show up. This is your last one. You'll never get to do this again, so come and enjoy your last math week. Also, on Friday, no one consulted me when they made that a day off. Friday's Pi Day. We should be in school on the greatest math holiday.
That's true.
And now we're not. So that has totally messed up
Fourth hosting of
my
Pi Day
normal plan. But we're gonna make it happen anyway. We're gonna celebrate Pi Day on Thursday. So take note. If you want to participate, you bring in something round and edible and shareable. So, for example, you could bring a pie, a regular pie. We'll cut it up, I'll have plates, forks, I'll have what we need, we can do that. But you can also bring in a dozen donuts. They're round and shareable. One donut does not work. It has to be round, shareable, and edible. All right? So you might bring in a bag of clementines. They're round, shareable, and edible. You might bring in
no, bananas are not round.
You might bring in Lifesaver Mix, you know?
What does that mean?
And we're gonna eat it together. Yes.
Do we, what we still have? Wait, what about watermelon?
What about watermelon?
Yes. Stop, guys. You know me better.
What about a
Right
bucket of
now,
fried
if
chicken?
we're here, we're going to have class, but we will take time at the beginning for you to enjoy the treats, and then you will eat and work. You'll eat, I'll work, and we'll get to our math. All right? Mrs. Ford supplies the paper products. I don't bring any food, so if you don't bring any food, then we don't have any furniture.
Are you gonna be eating our food?
No. Probably not.
Why not?
Because when you're my age, a donut means about 8,000 burpees, and I don't want to do 8,000.
You know what? I'll do it with you. I'll do it with you.
Do you track your calories?
I don't track my calories,
But you
but I
watch
know
what-
when I
watch
eat
what
too
you
much. Yeah. So, here's the deal.
We'll bring you.
We are going to bring something in or not, that's on you, but we can only eat what you bring in. So it's more fun if everybody brings something in. Well, wait, Mrs. Ford, what if there's stuff left over? Well, first of all, this is for all my classes. So on Thursday, I have all my classes, all right? Well, I don't have F and G, but I have all the rest of them. So we'll be enjoying the treats all day long. At the end of the day, if there are some uncut pies that we haven't even cut yet, because we had other pies to eat. Yeah. And there might be a bag of Oreos that hasn't been opened, that kind of stuff. I load all that up and I take it down to the fire station across from St. Matthew's. That's the fire station that serves Cathedral. They come up here all the time and we have false alarms and real alarms and everything, and they appreciate it. I've done this for so many years, they're kind of used to it. They kind of know around St. Patrick's Day, I'm gonna be coming in with some treats for them. So that's what happens to it. You should bring your stuff in. You're welcome to bring it to class with you, but you probably should bring it maybe before school, so you don't have to carry it around. Because if you carry it around, your friends are gonna see it, and they're gonna want to eat it, and you share it with your friends, and you can't share it with us, and then you don't get your extra credit. So you might want to bring it in beforehand.
Oh, it's for extra credit.
This is for extra credit.
Will you-
Not like 100.
Is there a reminder on campus?
Yeah, it's been in there for a long time.
Do you know
It's
what
on
our
the
essay
calendar. It's in Power School, it's great. Okay, so
When is our essay due? The Lent essay?
that's in chemistry, April 16th. That's in chemistry. So, good, everybody's gonna remember, I'm not gonna see you until Thursday, it's gonna be too late then. So, you're charged with remembering Pi Day in that class on Thursday, okay? Alright,
What if I bring, so a bucket's round, right? What if I bring a bucket of,
It's not, it has to be like sphere, not just round.
Of course,
Yeah,
Aiden-
what-
of course,
what-
Aiden's-
yeah, round.
bucket of
Aiden's eyes lit up.
Oh yeah, what about liquids? How do we bring like?
Yeah, what if we want something to drink?
a bucket of Kool-Aid?
bring your own water.
She said bring her own water bottle. Fill it with like Kool-Aid or something.
Here we go, notes out. Come on, we have a lot to do today, and I've wasted time talking about that. Okay? Here we go.
Here we go, number two.
We are in our 5-5 notes,
Number two.
which are on the back of page 53, and we're ready for problem C, which says, I have a triangle, and this is what I know about the triangle. Remember that capital letters are angles, and small letters are the sides across from the angle. So this is angle S. So side S is over here.
That's just 71.
Your job is to find everything that's missing. So Joe has already figured out that this is 79 degrees, angle S, 79 degrees. How did Joe figure that out?
180 minus 43 minus 50.
He took these two and subtracted them from 180 because the angles of a triangle add up to 180. Now, this right here is like a flashing beacon. If you have angle S and side S, or angle H and side H, or angle C and side C, you're going to use the law of sines. Because you can set up the proportion sine 79 over 19.1. Remember doing this the other day?
Yeah.
And what is that going to equal?
Sine 48.
Sine 53
Over
over C,
What? Yeah, this could be, you have to do it wrong.
and sine 79 over 19.1 equals sine 48 over H. Now, I don't want anybody worrying about what to do first. It doesn't matter. You have to do them both. Okay? We gotta do them both. So, we'll cross multiply and divide. So, C sine 79 equals 19.1 sine 53.
Guys, only 45 more minutes.
I'll divide by sine 79. Make sure your calculator is in degree mode. Because these are degrees. For C, I got 15.539. What about you? Anybody else get that?
Yeah.
Now we'll do the same thing for H, exactly the same thing. $14.467. All right, let me know if I type those in correctly.
Yeah.
Joe confirms. Sam and Dana get calculators out, let's start typing,
I already did this problem.
Yeah, we did this, we did the last class.
because you were ahead of the game.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
All right, you okay?
Yeah.
All right. Next problem. Oh, different directions. How many triangles are possible? Solve them. All right, let's talk about this for a second. Let's look at the situation. Angle B is 82, side B is 17, and side C is 15. So I'm just gonna make up and call this triangle ABC. They didn't give me any A's, I just made that up, it could be anything. But I've got angle B, side B, and side C.
You could put a line through A straight down. Never mind. I just changed the lines.
Okay? Now,
I don't know what that is.
here is the problem. I want you to think back to geometry. You did proofs in geometry.
You did?
Yes. And you had things like hypotenuse leg, angle, side, angle,
You are not doing it.
side, 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 right?
But it cannot be the bad word.
Cannot be a bad word. So you couldn't have,
Angle, side, side.
and look what I've got,
Angle, side, side.
angle, side,
Oh my
side.
god.
So when that happens, it's called the ambiguous case. It isn't that it never works. Sometimes it does, but not always. This problem with
Always.
angle, side, angle,
Always works.
and angle, side, angle works. There it is, done, move on. If you have angle, side, side, angle, side, side, then you've got potential problems. Okay? So I am on alert. My antenna are up. I'm going to be very alert. But I'm going to jump in and do the problem because look what I have. I have sine 82 over 17 equals sine C over 15. Would you agree with that? So let's cross multiply. 17 sine C equals 15 sine 82. Now this is your variable. Those don't, you can't separate those. Those are your variables. You're going to divide by 17. So now we have sine C equals 15 sine 82 divided by 17. Now, wait a minute. If you type this in, you're going to get a decimal. That decimal is not angle C. In order to get the angle,
You have to
what
do
are
the
we gonna
inverse.
have to inverse? You're gonna have to inverse sign this problem, this fraction. Okay, when you're looking for an angle, remember you have to inverse. So inverse or second sine, 15 sine 82, close parentheses, divided by 17. I got 60.899.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Okay, now, before we go any further, you know you could solve the rest of this triangle, right? Because what you need to find would be angle A and side A. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Yes, so we're gonna come back and do that in a minute. But before we do, we have to check to see if there is another triangle possible. Because when you have angle side side, it is possible that you actually have to solve two triangles. Now listen carefully. Okay, pay attention. Is there another triangle that would have the same given?
Oh, this is an ass.
If there is, the other possible answer for angle C, this is the one your calculator gave you. The other possible one will be 180 minus the first one you got. So what I'm doing is checking to see if there's a second triangle. The directions said how many triangles are possible. It's either 0, 1, or 2. I know there's at least one. I got it right here. Is there a second one? Well, if there is, the second angle C will be 180 minus the first angle. So this would be 119.101. Now, is that gonna be okay? Is that a solvable triangle? No, Tyler, why not? It adds up to more than 180. So how many triangles are possible? Just that one. That's the only possible one. And then we're gonna finish solving it. So you've already found, well, you've got 2 sides and 2 angles now. So what would that angle A be up there?
82, which is 142, so 30 feet, something.
37.101. And then how can we find side A? That's the only thing left.
You have to do sine 82 over
Sine
17
82 over 17. Always go back to the given.
equals sine
Equals
37.
sine 37.101 over A. So let's go ahead and cross multiply and divide. I got 10.356.
Yeah.
If there'd been 2 triangles, I had to solve them both. But since that one didn't work out, the only one I had to solve was that one. Okay, that's a lot.
You did it. Not bad.
No, it's just a lot.
Just a lot of stuff.
You still got to check.
I feel like I'm gonna forget about the 180 minus that, so you gotta check both.
When you took a test,
After class.
This isn't on the test.
Did you say when you took it?
when you
All right, so I've drawn problem 2B, problem B. And you probably won't pick up on the old ASS when you draw it or look at it. You might, but you'll for sure pick up on it because when you set up your law of sines, the dead giveaway is right here. If you are having to inverse to get your first answer, the first answer here is going to be angle B. If you're going to have to inverse to do that, you've got problems, all right? Potential problems. So I know automatically, and Sam, this might help you remember, as soon as I see that I'm going to have to inverse sine, I'm going to go ahead and draw a second triangle in case it works. I don't know if it's going to work or not.
Yes.
All right, so here we go. There's your pair. There it is.
Because you're gonna.
So I'm going to cross multiply. I'm going to divide by 24. This is my variable. I'm dividing by 24. But since my variable is sine B, I'll have to inverse sine 28 sine 73 close parentheses divided by 24. Oh. Try that again.
syntax error,
I don't think there's an answer to that.
There isn't an answer.
syntax error.
0 triangle.
When you get error, there are no triangles possible. So we type this in, just like always, you can't tell, I can't tell. When I type it in though, I get no triangles possible. So there sure as heck isn't a second one.
There's not one, then that's it.
There's not one. So you're done. You say no triangles possible, and you move on.
That's the answer?
That's the answer. Not possible.
Oh, wait, you don't have to solve it then? You don't have to solve it?
You can.
You can't. When you try to solve it, you got an error message.
Oh.
No triangles possible. Not solvable.
Hey, well, that's easy.
Yeah, those are easy. All right, the last one before we go to our words problems. Yeah. Here we go. C is 32, C is 10, A is 18, B is over here. Another ASS. So I'm gonna go ahead and set it up in case I have to. Remember, the given is never gonna change. So if there are two answers, the given is gonna be the same for both of them. It's this angle right here that's gonna change. Alright, so I need to find that angle. Okay, does everybody see this? That is your dead giveaway, law of sines. Soon we'll be moving to the law of cosines. That's different. If you have this, it's law of sines. So sine 32 over 10. As soon as I write that, my little antenna come up. Because I know I'm gonna have to inverse sine, and that's when we have problems. That's when we could have two answers, or none. So let's see, type that in and see what you get. I got 72.526. I could have done it wrong, I didn't come fast, so it could be wrong. Anybody else get that? No? Try to be.
What I got.
Who said that, Joe?
Yeah.
If that's what Joe got, it's right. I'm
Joe, what you got?
Wait, where's the answer?
Because I'm actually doing something like calculator.
Joe, what you
What's
got?
the like second answer?
What'd you get?
72.526. Now, I didn't get error. So that means I could check for a second one. This second possibility will be 180 minus the first one I got. So let's see, is that right? 107.474? Is that doable?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Remember before, this came out to be something, and when I added those together, it was more than 180? That can't be. But now when I add them, it's less than 180, so it's possible. So I am gonna have to solve both of these triangles now. Okay? Now, does everyone understand that? There's two possibilities this time. So now I'm gonna go back and look at the first one. If that's 32 and that's 72, what's that one? Uh, 75.474. I'm finding my other angle B, or my first angle B up here, this angle I'm missing.
Sine 32 over 10.
And then I'll do sine 32 over 10 equals sine 75.474 over B. So it's law of sines, law of sines, law of sines. You're not using any other skill. Anybody have a question about any of those numbers up there? There's a lot of numbers up there. I got 18.268 for side B. Joe? You get side B?
No, not yet.
18.268? Yep, that's what I got. Girls, you awake over here?
Yeah.
Kobe? Alright, on to triangle 2. 32 and 107, what's that angle be? You already got it? What'd you say, 40? 40.5. Alright, I'm taking LeBron's word for it. He says my second triangle, now on my second triangle, that angle B is 40.526. Seems about right. So now I'm gonna find this side B, so sine 32 over 10, always back to the beginning. Sine 40.526 over B. Oh, lordy, I did something wrong.
Wait, would you say
I got 12.262. I think that's right. All right, we good on that? How many triangles are possible? Either 0, 1, or 2? This time 2, this time it was 0, in our first example it was 1, so we did 1 of each. To find the second angle, the second possible angle, it's always 180 minus the first one you got. And then you just figure out if it works or not. Or just if it does, solve it.
32, and then it doesn't become inverse.
Alright, let's go to our word problems. Here we go. So, here's the situation. We have a triangle. This is 28. This is 37. And this is 2.32. And we want to find the altitude of the balloon.
And you only go 115.
So, what we're trying to find is this right here, right?
Yeah, so that is 115.
Right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. We're going to not find that right away because here's why.
Why?
If I drop in that altitude, okay, that's what I'm looking for. I know that's 37. Do I have any idea how big that angle is?
115.
Oh, wait, I know the whole
You don't
thing,
know if it bisects.
but that doesn't cut it in half. I know it doesn't because these angles aren't equal.
Yeah.
So I don't know what those angles are. Do I know what this is? No.
Can you not call that 90?
That would be 90.
Oh, yes, you can.
So I could find that angle,
Yeah.
but I know no sides. I know no sides, right? So let's take that out for a second. Let me call this side X. Now Dana already told me this angle was how big?
115.
115. Right here, could I find side X?
Yes, 100%.
So let's do that. So sine 28, you'll see, if you haven't figured out, there is a method to my madness. You will see in a minute. Let's find side X.
Okay.
So sine 115 over 232 equals sine 28 over X. So Did you get 1.202?
Yep.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna drop in that altitude. And this is what I'm trying to find now, right? That's the point of the problem, find that.
Yep. Yeah.
Somebody pointed out that's a 90.
Yeah.
So could we
90
do
plus
sine
37.
90 over that equals sine 37 over that?
Yeah.
Could we
Yeah.
do that?
100%.
All right, let's do it. So sine 90 over 1.202 equals sine 37 over h. Now, 1.202, that number is on your calculator, so don't retype that in. Use your answer button, okay? Use your answer button. So I'm gonna type answer times sine 37 divided by sine 90. And I got that h to be 0.723. See if that's what you got. So you cross multiply and divide it. But use your answer button for that. Don't retype it in. You don't need to round that off. Just retype it in. And I got 0.723. And that is miles. So your height is 0.723 miles. So we had to do that in 2 steps because we didn't have what we needed to find h at the beginning. The answer is 0.723 miles. They rounded it off to the nearest. It's 0.723, we're rounding like that. All right, my friends, let's look at the next one. So, A and B are 25 miles apart. This angle is 38. This angle is 53. Those aren't the angles in the triangle, they're outside.
180 minus 38.
And this is side B, this is side A, and our job is to find H.
So you could do 180 minus 38. To get the one inside.
I wouldn't do 180, wouldn't it be 90?
Oh yeah, 90. I didn't
90.
see. I was thinking.
So this would be 60, no, this would be 52.
And same way, 90.
This would be 37. So is that okay? Are you following along what Elijah's strategy was?
Yeah.
That's a right angle. So that makes 90 and that makes 90. I'm gonna take this out for a minute because I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it. How big is this guy? Is that 91? Double check my arithmetic. I think that's 91.
Yeah, 91.
Yeah, it is.
91 over 25.
Find the distance from each meteorologist to the tornado. The tornado's up here. Okay, so we need to find B and A.
Sine 91 over
So
25.
sine 91 over 25 equals sine 52 over A, and then sine 91 over 25 equals sine 37 over B. Hey, are you guys paying attention?
Yeah. So am I.
Alright, so that will give us A and B. I hope everybody's typing it in. So A, I got 19.703. And 15.048. What do you think?
Not bad.
Jaden,
Yeah, wake up, dude.
get up.
Get up!
You need to know
Get
this stuff.
up!
What's your grade?
You know, Mom and I have established communication.
Uh-oh.
And my last communication was quite clear
I just need
that
to
this
rest.
kind of behavior needs to change.
I just need to rest my eyes for 30 seconds.
So you don't need to rest your eyes. You need to engage your brain.
That's a bar.
Now, did anybody else get these? I got 19.703 and 15.048. Is that good?
Yeah.
Now we have to find the height of the tornado. So now we have to find H.
What you do?
Now, the number that I found last was this one. So I'm gonna say sine 90 over, I'm looking at this little triangle right here.
Sine 90.
So sine 90 over 15.048, which is stored in my calculator. I'll put in parentheses because it's in my calculator, equals sine 52 over h. I'm in this triangle right here. So forget all this isn't fair. Sine 52 over h, sine 90 over 15.048. I got 11.858. And all of these are what unit?
Degrees.
No, angles are degrees.
These are mine.
They're miles. All these are miles.
I don't even get to carry the test scoring equipment you have to go.
Now, I don't know if you thought about this or not. Somebody over here was saying, can you just do, what kind of a triangle is this little one right here?
And I equilateral.
Is it a right triangle?
Yeah.
So I could say sine 52 equals h over 15.048, opposite over hypotenuse, and that would give you the same answer.
Yes.
That would work just as well.
You'll see.
Okay, one more word problem.
I hate these words.
Well, they don't like you either.
Well, the good news is, these pictures are gone for you. That makes it easier.
I need him left, because no one else wants to left my tip.
Oh, wait, my dad.
What are you looking at? Mr. Snugglepuffs? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Two lighthouses are 20 miles apart on the shoreline. A captain at ship S out here measures angle ASB to be 33, and radio operator measures ABS to be 52. So all that is given in the problem, and it's also drawn in the picture. find the
Seven nuggets
distance
coming.
from the ship to each lighthouse.
Sine.
So you're finding this distance, which I'll call B, and this distance, which I'll call A.
Sine 33 over 20 equals
Sine 33 over 20
sine 52 over 2.
equals sine 52 over B. Is that okay with everybody?
Where'd you get that to?
Again, when you see this right here, you should just be leaping for joy. That is law of sines. Alright, so what is side B? 28.937. And that's miles, I believe, again. Yeah.
We do not need that.
Alright, now what?
Are we gonna find the angle of A, which is 52, plus 133.
So what will angle AD?
We just
95.
95. So now we can do sine 33 over 20 equals sine 95 over A.
That's it.
36.582. That okay with everybody? Alright. 5-5 homework due on Thursday. It'll be due Thursday. It should be due Wednesday, but they're at school, so it'll be due Thursday. Alright, 5-5 due Thursday.
What?
Where'd you get that one from? I gotta watch that one.
Yeah, mine's like a
Alright, next page, here we go.
What brand is that?
My daily routine.
Alright,
When would 5-5 be good?
I just said
You
that.
just said Thursday.
Wait, next Tuesday.
He's not locked in.
He's not. Every student is not.
He's not
This is really sad.
No,
I
I'm-
literally just said that.
I didn't.
So it is no wonder some of us struggle. We don't pay attention. Right? And as smart as some of you guys are, you weren't born with a working knowledge of trigonometry. You actually have to pay attention to be successful. So let's, for the next 10 minutes, let's lock in. Now, here is the next problem. The directions say solve the triangle.
Oh,
That is what we have been doing. The difference is, I don't have a match set here. I don't have side C and angle C. I don't have S and S, and I don't have H and H. So therefore, this will not be a law of sines. This is going to be a law of
What's the
cosines.
equation for that one?
Now, in a minute, the law of cosines is scary when you look at it, but I'm going to show you how easy it is to use it. It's super simple. Here's how it works, and then I'll give you the actual formula here in a minute, but here's how it works. If you're doing the law of cosines, you have one angle, okay, or you're going to deal with one angle.
focus up.
So, I am gonna put, my angle is clearly this one. So on this end of the problem, the law of cosines is long. And on this end of the problem, I'm gonna put cosine 58. Whatever angle you're using, the cosine of it goes on that end. And then on the other end of the equation, there's gonna be a bunch bunch of junk in here. But the other end of the equation is going to be that side squared. So, if I had put angle H out here, then this would be 10 squared. Alright, so whatever angle you're using, its side is squared here. Now what's in the middle? In the middle is that side squared plus that side squared minus 2 times the sides times each other. So on one end you have cosine, on the other end you have that side squared. And then in between you have the other two sides squared and added together, minus 2, always 2, that's part of the formula, 2 times those two sides times each other. Okay? So let's go ahead and type that in on our calculator.
Are we already gonna go today?
Huh? What? So 10 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 10 times 12 times cosine 58. Did you get like 116?
Yeah.
But remember, that's c squared.
Oh, square root.
That's c squared. So you need to square root that number. And I got 10.808. That's what I got.
I got you.
All right, now, the direction said solve the triangle. Look at what you have now. Now we can do the law of sines, right? We couldn't in the beginning, but now we can. So sine 58 over 10.808, which is in my calculator. I'm not going to retype that in, I'm going to use the number that's in my calculator. Equals sine h over 10. Right?
Yeah.
So then I'll cross multiply. And again, I keep putting this in parentheses to remind myself I don't need to round it off. I got it in my calculator. Now that fraction is sine h. So I'm going to have to inverse sine that fraction. 10 sine 58, close parentheses, divided by answer. 51.686. See if you can get 51.686.
That's the coolest jacket in class.
And now you're almost done. You're almost done.
So 58
So you
plus
put
Joe
seconds
one.
in.
Joe, I think Jaden wants me to write you a detention because you're wearing that jacket.
It's actually it's University of Vermont. I don't see.
No, it's not.
First time.
And it's not even a sweatshirt, so that doesn't count. So I'm not
Infraction.
sure why Jaden is doing that to you.
That's great.
Take your coat off.
Infraction.
Well,
What's
LeBron's
wait? Hold
got
on,
a coat
hold on.
on.
We will see if he has a.
Why didn't you just wear that?
I'm sure there's some other delinquent in here. Let's see.
Jada just snitching my whole entire day.
Just those two.
That is crazy that he sniffed.
Especially those.
All right. Now we're almost done. We're almost done. We have everything except angle S. Add and subtract from 180. And it looks like angle S is 70.314. Yeah, 70.314.
Now sign 58.
No, we're done.
Now we're done.
We have it.
You have the whole
We
time?
have it.
No, it's all to get the signs in.
So, now I'm gonna write the all cosigns for you.
Maybe
This
two
is
of them.
the pattern that I want you to know. All cosines says a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine A.
This is memorizable.
Again,
We have to remember.
people don't memorize it unless you want to. You need to memorize the pattern of it, the way it works. So, quickly, if I have this triangle, 15, 63, 28, if I had that, all cosines would say x squared equals cosine 63 out on that end, and then what would be here in the middle?
15 squared
15 squared
plus 28
squared
minus 2
There you go. It's that easy. The pitfall for the all cosines is, don't forget to square root it. You gotta remember.
Not going on.
Plus, minus,